She revolutionized battlefield medicine, she founded the American Red Cross, and she dedicated her life to saving others. Here's why Clara Barton's legacy is one of courage and compassion and service. Here's her story. Her story begins on December 25th in 1821 in Oxford, Massachusetts, and she was born into a family that valued education and service to others. From an early age, she demonstrated a deep sense of compassion and a strong desire for just to help those in need. Barton's early life was marked by a number of personal challenges, including a period of illness that kept her homebound during her youth, and she was largely educated by her older brothers. This period of isolation fueled her inner drive to make a meaningful impact in the world. Clara Barton's career began in teaching, where she spent several years educating students in New England. However, her life took a significant turn when she became the first woman to work as a clerk in the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C. That happened in 1854. Despite the barriers to women working in government positions at the time, Barton's professionalism and dedication quickly earned her respect. And it wasn't her government job that would define her legacy. It was her work during the Civil War that would earn her a place in American history. And when the Civil War broke out in 1861, Barton's life took a dramatic turn. She was horrified by the reports of wounded soldiers and then the lack of medical care available to them. And with not much, a little formal medical training, but a relentless drive to help, Barton took it upon herself to provide care for the soldiers on the front lines. She became known as Angel of the Battlefield, and that was largely due to her tireless work, where she would often risk her own life to care for the wounded, despite the dangers of being so close to combat. Her efforts were groundbreaking. She wasn't just a nurse. She organized a network of volunteers to collect supplies and bring them to the battlefront. Her work extended beyond just tending to the wounded. She also pushed for the establishment of hospital trains. That way they could transport the injured, and she also called for the creation of sanitary commissions to improve the overall conditions of military hospitals. Clara Barton was among the first to treat soldiers on the battlefield, offering comfort and care in conditions that were often terrifying and deadly. After the Civil War, Clara Barton continued her work by organizing and distributing supplies to soldiers. But her greatest contribution was still to come. In 1869, she traveled to Europe, where she learned about the International Red Cross, an organization dedicated to providing aid to those affected by war and natural disasters. She was so inspired by the mission of the Red Cross that she lobbied to establish a similar organization in the United States. And in 1881, Barton successfully founded the American Red Cross, and she would lead it for the next 23 years. Under Barton's leadership, the American Red Cross became an international symbol of humanitarian aid. She not only led the organization in responding to disasters, such as the 1889 Johnstown flood and also the Spanish-American War, but she also made significant strides in establishing the Red Cross as an active presence during wartime, overseeing the distribution of supplies and coordinating medical assistance for soldiers and civilians alike. Her work extended beyond war, and she advocated for the Red Cross's involvement in peacetime disaster relief efforts such as fires, floods, and epidemics. However, despite her immense contributions, she did face significant challenges in the later years of her life. As the organization grew, Barton's leadership became a point of contention with some of her colleagues. They criticized her autocratic style. In 1904, after a long struggle, Barton resigned from the presidency of the American Red Cross. And despite the controversy surrounding her departure, her legacy as the founder of the American Red Cross was firmly established. She spent the remaining years of her life speaking on behalf of the Red Cross, writing her autobiography, and advocating for humanitarian causes. She died on April 12th of 1912 at the age of 90. Her funeral was attended by many who admired her dedication to service, and her legacy continued to inspire future generations of volunteers and activists. Why does Clara Barton matter? Why does her story matter? It matters because she was a trailblazer for those that needed assistance. She was a trailblazer who broke barriers for women in both medicine and leadership. She devoted her life to alleviating the suffering of others. Her pioneering work on the battlefield during the Civil War, her establishment of the American Red Cross, and her unwavering commitment to helping those in need laid the groundwork for modern disaster relief efforts. Her legacy is a reminder of the impact one person can have when they choose to serve others, regardless of personal risk or sacrifice. Barton's life shows us the power of compassion and how much good can be done when we push past societal limits and use our skills to make a difference in the world. Today, the American Red Cross continues to carry on her mission, a mission of helping those in need, both in times of war and times of peace. As I wrap this up here, Clara Barton's legacy is it's a testament to the power of compassion, service, and leadership. Her work as a nurse, a humanitarian, and founder of the American Red Cross, well, it reminds us that even in the most challenging times, one person can change the course of history. I hope you learned something new tonight. If not, I hope you were able to add to your depth of knowledge. I'd appreciate a like, a comment, a follow, a share, a question for more things that you should know by being alive, because knowing figures like Clara Barton, well, it helps us appreciate the power of service and compassion and also the fight to make the world a better place. Thanks for watching.